Teaching techniques in speaking production implemented in an 8th grade course in a public and private school in Pamplona, Colombia, is the title of our research project, a study conducted by Sebastian Lioniz and Lynda Pombo. This research is aimed at answering the question of what is the influence of the teaching techniques centered in speaking production in the proficiency level of an 8th grade course in a public and a private school in Pamplona, Colombia. In this video, we are going to explain you the main aspects that we take into account on the three first chapters. The first chapter is concerning for establish the research problem and the considerations that will be considered in developing of this research project. The second chapter, the theoretical framework, that provides a constructive analysis of the techniques and approaches of other researchers and highlights key terms of the main theme of this research project, and finally, the methodology section, which explains the methods that we will use in developing this project.
Purpose. The main purpose of this research project is to analyze the teaching techniques centered in speaking production implemented in 8th grade courses in a private and public school in Pamplona, Colombia. This research study searches to benefit the teachers and students from all the schools in the whole country in Colombia.
Research questions. Talking about questions, what were our questions? The central questions. What is the influence of the teaching techniques centered in speaking production in the proficiency level of an 8th grade course in a public and a private school in Pamplona, Colombia? Our sub-questions. What are the teaching techniques centered in speaking production implemented in an 8th grade course in a public and a private school? And finally, what is the proficiency level that a student have in the public school and the private school?
Research objective. What are our objectives? The general objective is to analyze the influence of teaching techniques centered in speaking production implemented in the proficiency level of 8th grade courses in a public and private school in Pamplona, Colombia. Specifics. To compare the teaching techniques centered in speaking production in a private and public school and to analyze the proficiency level that the students have in the public school and the private school.
Limitations and ethical considerations. As you know, in every research project, there are limitations and ethical considerations that must be considered. This research will take place in a public and a private school. Thus, this project could encounter the following limitations and ethical considerations. Limitations. Principals' permissions to enter to the institutions. Teachers' permissions and availability to observe their classes. Concordance and time disponibility between researchers and school staff. Schools' permissions to keep working with the same grade, 8th grades. Ethical considerations. Students and parent permission to be tested and interviewed. Keeping the school staff and students' anonymity. Present the participant the results of the research project. Avoid plagiarism by references the sources used on the study.
Theories. This research project is constructed according to the theoretical structure, speaking skills, techniques to teach English, and techniques to work in speaking skills. The theories that are relevant in this project are Bigate, 1987, who states that speaking is a skill which deserves a lot of attention in native and foreign language. Chani, 1998, who established that speaking is the process of building and sharing meaning through the use of verbal and nonverbal symbols. Grenfell and Harris, 1999, promote examining the techniques used by the teachers with their learners during the language learning process, gain insights into the cognitive, social, and affective process involved in language learning. Finally, Olivares, Kuhat, and Wathor, 2000, said teaching techniques are important because facilitate an internal process by which each teacher must pass to decide what will be the correct technique according to each group of students, taking into account the environment of the institution.
The studies. In this part, the theoretical framework and the literature review of our study, it is decisive to provide foundation of knowledge, identifying previous studies or theories. Furthermore, it is important to mention that this chapter consists in summarizing and revealing the key sources, the key terms, and the theories, analyzing the relationship with our purpose, and contextualizing the contribution of other works to give us an interpretation to point out the way in which this research will be conducted, providing us an overview of the sources we are using during the development of this study. What were some of the studies we used? Second language communication strategies. Definitions, taxonomies, the elicitation methodology, and teachability issues. A review article conducted by Rahabab Galeb in 2002, an article that examined trends in second language communication strategies. Developing oral skills through communicative and interactive tasks. Conducted by Gutierrez Dorelli, 2005, a study that describes a research project carried out with a group of 9th grade students at the Institución Educativa Distrital Britalia in Bogotá, Colombia. Improving 11th graders. Oral production in English class through cooperative learning strategies. Conducted by Prieto Claudia in 2007, a study that aims to report on research carried out with 11th graders at Colegio Bachillerato Patria in Bogotá, Colombia. Is Colombia ready for bilingualism? Conducted by Sanchez Clara and Gabriel Obando in 2008, this study examined the academic needs that must be met in order to achieve government goals in a fair and rewarding way for teachers, students, and stakeholders.
Methodology. Regarding methodology, this project aims to explain in the influence of the teaching techniques centered in speaking production using a qualitative design, a method that is used to understand or analyze social phenomena, people beliefs, experiences, attitudes, behavior, and interactions in their natural setting, generating non-numerical data and providing more descriptive results that can be taken from their natural setting. Reason why we decide to use observations and interviews to collect data. This research project is based on a multiple case study that can be enormously expensive and time-consuming to implement and can be used to either argue contrasting results for expected reasons or either argue similar results in the studies. We decide to use unstructured interviews because we have a complete freedom in terms of wording to use and many formulate questions that suit our topic to discussion, and on participant observations, that is, when our research doesn't get involved directly in the activity. Thanks for watching.